big day at Doha today. Behind me is the future of private flying, the Gulfstream G700. Let's go have a tour. Hello, good
Welcome,
morning.
Sam.
Hey,
so
Kevin.
glad to have you.
Yes, what a pleasure. Beautiful airplane.
The pleasure is ours. Welcome to the 700 for the first time. Lots of technology and capability that we brought to this aircraft that's allowing the airplane to do tremendous things. For instance, we've worked on and have developed what we call active control sidesticks. You got to remember, this is our office, our living room, our dining room for over 15 hours. So the more space we can have, the better we are. But we've wanted to do sidesticks for a long time. But you got to remember, this is an unspoken language between us so that we have a high level of situational awareness. So we spent about 10 years developing what we call active control sidesticks, meaning that as I move one stick, the other one follows on the other side of the flight deck. Fly-by-wire makes every airplane a beautiful flying, you know, whether it's our 650 or our 500, 600, and now our 700 use the same basic fly-by-wire system. And so as you move between those airplanes, it's very simple for us as crew to move between them. The 500, 600, and the 700 fly basically the same way, and the only way to know which airplane you're on is by a few simple things as far as how much fuel it can take on board. So even though they're physically different in size, they fly the same way. The airplane is so smart. As we land and we're decelerating through 60 knots, it automatically moves to the airport map and also moves the primary flight display where you're in a presentation on the PFD. That's what we call exocentric view, where you're up and behind the airplane and gives you a larger peripheral field of view. Just amazing technologies. And then you've got dual HUD that have EBS and synthetic vision in them.
This looks rather interesting because I've been to other business jets cabin and cockpit, and what is this? Can you explain to me,
Captain? Well, that's our cursor control device, or CCD. Think of it as your mouse. It's what you use to move your cursors around the displays, and where I can actually make selections and control the presentation of what I'm seeing.
Oh, I see. So it's like a mouse. You're moving
That's exactly
on the PFD.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So I can make all my selections, and then that changes the display. Or for instance, if I wanted to come up here and instead of a map, I wanted to change this to video, and then for instance, the infrared camera here that is looking off the nose and gives us the ability to see in night and low visibility conditions.
What always amazed me is the capability of Gulfstream. It allows people to fly higher, fly faster.
What's the one commodity we all want more of? It doesn't matter who we are, we always want more time, right? And so the one way that you gain time is through the use of speed. You can get to your destinations faster. So the slowest our airplanes ever fly is 0.85 Mach, which is most people's high-speed cruise. Our normal cruise is 0.90, or 90% the speed of sound is where we're normally flying the airplane. And so that gives back time. And if you take somebody that on a typical operation of airplanes, if they're operating an airplane at 0.80 at about 500 hours a year, we'll give you 52 hours of your life back at the end of every year. That's more time for you to do other things with, but it also allows you the ability that it's less time on the airplane, which makes the airplane more valuable over the length of time. One of the most interesting things is the cabin altitude. You know, even when we're at 51,000 feet, we're only breathing air that's the equivalent of 4,800 feet. But at a typical cruise altitude for us, we're in that 3,000 to 4,000 foot cabin altitude, which is half the altitude that airliners and a lot of our competition are running at. So your body's working a lot easier, more rested, and it really pays off at the end of these really long missions.
Good morning, Sam, and welcome to the new G700. Gulfstream's excited to have the airplane in Qatar today to show to our friends at Qatar Airways and Qatar Executive I'll walk you through the airplane. So we'll start in the galley. This is the largest galley available in any business jet. There's over 10 feet of counter space here on the galley countertop. We have microwave oven, convection oven, tons of storage for trash, for ice, for drinks, beverages, food, full-size refrigerator. And then as you go out through the airplane, we have the crew rest area. Again, the largest crew rest area available in a business jet today. 2 windows. The crew can close off and sleep in here on the long-range missions. And the G700 cabin is the largest cabin in any business jet being built today.
I know. Yeah. I don't have the duck, right? And then there's
right.
Still a bit of room.
Right.
I can stretch out here.
This is a brand new cabin design from Gulfstream, all new for the G700. New seats, new ledges, new PSU panels. Everything you see in here is a new design compared to the G650. The other thing about this airplane, Sam, is the cabin environment is the most healthy cabin environment in any airplane. Very low cabin altitude, 100% fresh air in the cabin all the time. It's not recirculated. We don't need to use a filter to clean the air because it comes in and goes out of the airplane about every minute and a half.
So this is actually a Gulfstream company demonstrator.
It is. Actually, it's a test aircraft. So we have 6 aircraft flying in the test program to get the airplane certified. This is the first airplane that we put an interior into, and we're using it just to test the interior. For about the next year, we'll fly the airplane, and we'll test everything in the airplane from the seats to the lighting to the wiring and the sound and the comfort. So everything in here will be tested. So when we deliver the first airplane to a customer next year, we'll have a highly mature cabin to deliver to that customer.
When I visited MBAA and other business jet show, I already seen your flagships, G650ER.
Yes, sir.
And now you're creating something even higher than that.
We are.
And why?
Absolutely.
Why you're doing something like this now?
I'll tell you, the G650ER has been tremendous for us. We've built and delivered almost 500 of those airplanes. Highly, highly successful airplane. But you know, Gulfstream has been in this business for about 65 years in designing, building, and supporting airplanes is the only thing we do. And so what you see here in the G700 is the result of that 65 years of experience.
And it's certainly very tempting to own one of these. Now, the big question is, what is the cost of one of these G700?
The cost of a G700, the next available aircraft we had to have delivers in 2025, and the airplane is $78 million.
Now I just need to go found $78 million. So the numbers keep getting higher and higher. G700 now is the longest Gulfstream, and it flies faster. I heard it actually broke a speed record from Savannah to Doha on the way here. It flew over 13 hours, 50 minutes, but on a Mach 0.88. A Mach 0.88, if you're in aviation, as you know, it's faster than most of the commercial airliners. Why? Why Qatar Executive is going for this jet here? Well, you have many Gulfstream already in the fleet.
We are the launch customer of the Gulfstream 700, and we're very proud to have this aircraft. And we've been the launch customer for the G500. We've been the launch customer for many other types before. So we're very proud to introduce a type. And we spare no time, no cost at building the right product for the customers. It's what we do. It's our DNA. And this is why people love us. This is why people love flying with Qatar Executive. And this is why we've actually built the customer base throughout the difficult times, in the Corona times. You know that G700 is still an experimental aircraft. It's going to be certified next year. So how about we go on a real ride on a G650 extended range, which is our flagship, and we take a nice ride above Doha.
How can you say no when someone offers you a Gulfstream flight?
I know.
Let's do it.
Right?
All right, let's go.
do it.
It's a Gulfstream day. Excited to try out the G650ER. Let's go, guys.
We're going to be drawing very special symbol on the sky of Doha today.
Are you ready?
A lady with magic, she knows more Gulfstream than I do.
We're going to take you up to 50,000 feet.
What?
50,000 feet.